Boxing Doc. Boxing family. Yeah, I said it. Triple G stops Canelo. Easily. I don't know what Canelo's gonna do to keep Triple G off of him. I don't see it happening. I don't see Canelo being competitive with Triple G. I really see that Kazakhstan power nailing Canelo and Canelo cowering and eventually losing through brutal stoppage. Alright, I'm embellishing a little bit, but I honestly don't think this is as competitive as people are making it out to be. Let's remember, this is Canelo's official first fight at 160. We don't even know what the guy looks like at this weight division. We don't even know how he looks like against 160 fighters. And please don't bring up Chavez Jr. Please don't do it. Don't go there. That guy ain't a 160 pounder, and he was a dead man walking during that fight against Canelo. Just a punching bag. So, even though he was a heavier man, that is no indication of how Canelo will fare against heavier opponents at 160. I don't see how this is going to be a competitive fight. You have Golovkin with the height advantage and possibly the reach advantage and the weight advantage. He knows what it feels like to fight at 160. He carries that weight around for 12 rounds. Being pressured, being in tough fights, being in situations where he has to go the distance or long enough to get a victory. Usually he knocks his opponents out, but he's been to the 11th round before. He's been to the 12th round against Danny Jacobs. He knows what it takes to carry that weight around, and he's a well-conditioned athlete at 160. There's so many question marks with Canelo. I just don't see how people arrive at the conclusion that this is going to be a competitive fight. And I think they arrive at the conclusion based off of Triple G's last two performances. Danny Jacobs and Kell Brook. We really have to be careful here. Really have to be careful. What are we saying when we look at those two fights? Are we saying that Golovkin has regressed from his true self as evidenced by those two fights? I mean, if that's an argument that you're making, I disagree. We can't say he's regressed and at the same time say that his talent level has, his opposition level has increased significantly. You have to control for one variable. Those are two variables that are fluctuating. I don't think it's fair to come to a conclusion saying that he's not the same fighter he once was, but he's also fighting a higher class of talent. I think it's just the latter. He stepped up in competition in these last two fights, even though Kell Brook was a welterweight coming up two weight divisions to face Gennady Golovkin. Kell Brook is still a A-level talent as a boxer, as a skillful boxer. And so it was understandable that Golovkin would probably have to take some time to figure him out. And it's also understandable that Kell Brook was quicker than Gennady Golovkin. Kell Brook is the fleet-footed boxer. He's the guy coming up from a lower weight class. He's the guy he's quicker and more agile on his feet. He's the guy that's your prototypical boxer, your 1-2 combination type of fighter, stick and move. So it was understandable that Golovkin would look slower in that fight. If we're not saying that, then are we saying that Canelo fights like Kell Brook and Danny Jacobs? I'd have to disagree with that too. You're talking about Kell Brook, who is like I said, a prototypical boxer, somebody who throws the 1-2 sticks and moves, very fleet-footed, quick on his feet, quick with the hands. That's not Canelo, right? Canelo's not your prototypical boxer. Canelo is more so of a counter puncher. And so his style is not Kell Brook's style. So we can't say that the limited success that Kell Brook had in that fight can be emulated by Canelo Alvarez, because they have completely different styles. And let's just go back to what I said, limited success. All this, Golovkin's not the same, he's past his prime, he's on the downhill. He stopped Kell Brook and damn near ended his career. Broke his orbital bone. I mean, I don't see where the regression is. Everything that happened in that fight was to be expected. We thought that Kell Brook would have early success until he got broken down. In fact, I thought he would last longer. But he got his damn orbital bone broken in. Damn near went blind in the 5th round. Where is this regression that we're talking about on Golovkin's part? Right? And then let's go to Danny Jacobs. Does Canelo fight like Danny Jacobs? No, he doesn't. Danny Jacobs is your prototypical boxer puncher. Right? He's a guy that has the ability to box, but he also has heavy hands. He also hits hard. And so he's able to stand there and throw a punch, throw a few punches to get off combinations and make his opponent respect his power. That again is not Golovkin, or sorry, that's not Canelo. Canelo, like I said before, is a counter puncher. He wants you to come to him. He's going to draw you into him, into his offense, set traps for you. So let's take a look at the body metrics. You have an opponent in Danny Jacobs who was 5'11" and a half. He had a reach of 73 inches, right? And he was a true 160 pounder. On top of that, if you guys will recall, he didn't weigh in for the IBF title. He decided to waive that and exercise his right to not weigh in. And so on fight night, there were rumors going around that Danny Jacobs was 180 pounds, 20 pounds over the middleweight division. And so that had to do something for his punch resistance, coming in heavier than Golovkin and being able to absorb some of those heavy shots. Let's juxtapose those metrics with Canelo Alvarez's body metrics. We have a guy that's 5'9". He has a reach of 70.5 inches. He's never fought at the 160 pound division. This will be his first official fight, really. And he has KO power of 67%. That means in weight classes lower than 160, he's only KO'd 67% of his opponents. Compare that to Danny Jacobs, a guy that's fought at the 160 weight division for his entire career and has an 85% knockout ratio. So we really believe a guy with a 67% knockout ratio is going to give a guy trouble that he has not seen in facing a guy with an 85% knockout ratio with superior body metrics? I don't know. I don't see what people see in this fight that makes it so competitive. Please enlighten me if you disagree with what I'm saying. Comment in the section below. So people say Kell Brook gave him trouble, and I let them know Triple G broke his orbital bone. He damn near retired the man. He told him to sit down. And people will respond, yeah, but that's because Kell Brook is a true welterweight, not a real super or not a real middleweight, so that's why he got stopped. Canelo's a lot heavier than him. He's a bigger guy. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about the bigger guys then. Danny Jacobs, a guy that's 6 feet, superior reach, came in heavy on fight night. He still didn't do anything. He did a lot. He did a lot. But he still did not get the win against Triple G. You really believe your man Canelo can? He's not identical to any of the fighters. They don't have similar styles. They don't have similar body metrics. And so these comparisons don't really make sense to me. Triple G is going to stop Canelo, and I'm going to let you know how he does it tactically in the next video. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe so you stay in tune with the latest videos. Thank you for all the love and support. I really do appreciate it. Leave your comments in the section below if you agree or disagree with me, or if you're just here to hate or love. Appreciate it all. Until next time, Mr. Boxing Doc, signing off.